All right, meteorologist Allison Rogers back with you, and it is turning out to be a busy afternoon for us as this line of severe storms moves in. Now we've got the severe thunderstorm warning north expanding all the way into Butler County. This also includes a clip of Warren County as well. So that's the yellow box that you see here. It is going to go until 1:45. This line of strong storms actually is warned for considerable damage because it is showing the potential for some winds to gust closer to 70 miles per hour. Typically, when we have a severe thunderstorm warning issued, baseline for that is going to be winds of 60 miles per hour. But this actually is showing some signs that we could be seeing some winds closer to 70 miles per hour for some locations. And in fact, looking at some of these different wind readings, you can actually see these brighter pink pixels that have started to pop up here. Meteorologist Katie Donovan is sampling some of these, showing you that some of these winds gusting up to about 70 miles per hour. Again, this is radar estimated, but still looking at that potential for some of these winds to be closer to about 65 to 70 miles per hour. And actually, back when this storm was closer to Indianapolis, it was producing winds of 64 miles per hour. There's a recording of that back there. Now, further to the south, we have another severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. This one is going to last for areas of Ripley County into Dearborn County, and this is going to continue throughout that 1 o'clock hour, I believe until about 1:30 or 1:15, 1:30 for this one further to the south. Not necessarily as strong of winds with this storm. You can see some of these samplings closer to about 50 miles per hour. However, still looking at that potential at least to see some winds closer to that 60 mile per hour range. And on top of that as well, we certainly could be seeing some hail within some of these storms. But at just kind of first glance, it's looking like some of those strongest winds are right now over toward Brookville. And then we also have some potential strong winds in southern Fayette County as well. Now, on top of all of this, I have seen actually a report of some hail, about half-inch size hail, just outside of Columbia in southern Fayette County as well. So just outside of the Connorsville area, seeing some of those hail reports of closer to about half-inch size. So certainly possible that we have some hail within some of these storms. Hail tracker not necessarily picking up on that quite so much. This is your traditional radar here, and meteorologist Katie Donovan is showing you what we're looking at in terms of a timeline for this, because these storms are moving anywhere from about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So they are racing at a decent little speed. And the timeline here is going to have a storm rolling into areas of West College Corner within the next couple of minutes, and then areas around Versailles closer to about 1:07, right around that 1:10 time frame for Sunman, Indiana. Oxford going to see it closer to about 1:10, 1:11. So heads up if you know anybody up at the university. Milan seeing some of those the stronger storm and the stronger winds closer to about 1:15. A similar time frame if you are in Riley or Camden or areas around Morris Hill. Somerville closer to about 1:15 or so, and then for areas around Manchester, Sparta, and Dillsboro closer to that 1:20 time frame for you. So at this point, you still have 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your given location, to go ahead and get into your safe place with these storms. So far, nothing in terms of any sort of tornadic activity. I've been looking at some of the different possibilities for that. But at this point, it's looking like what we're largely seeing is that straight line wind threat. And going into today, it really looked like we had the greatest potential for straight line winds. And right now, that's what we're seeing actually starting to play out here, especially for areas up toward Fayette, Franklin, and Union County. So if we can, I actually want to zoom in on some of these locations that are under the gun for potentially those 70 mile per hour winds. So spots like Oxford, Riley Township. If you're in Somerville, you need to go ahead and get ready for this. Looks like we actually have another severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued. We'll get to that in just a minute. But again, Oxford, Riley Township, areas north of Okeana, you're going to see some of those really strong winds moving into your neck of the woods. And then at this point, we've got West College Corner that is under the gun for those really strong winds. We've got areas around Bath that's dealing with some really intense winds as well. Brookville, you're seeing those strong winds, the thunder, the lightning, the heavy rainfall coming down for you. And then further to the south, Metamora, Oldenburg, much of the same for you. Along I-74, you've got the heavy rainfall, the thunder and lightning coming in, and the potential is there for those strong winds potentially gusting up to about 60 or so miles per hour. Sunman, Indiana, this is going to start to move in here again any minute now. So go ahead and get inside, get to your shelter, because you've got some strong winds moving in here fairly soon. So far, nothing in terms of any tornado warnings or anything like that. At this point, still seeing those severe thunderstorm warnings that have been issued for different locations. Let's go to that broad view and see where this most recent severe thunderstorm warning is. And this actually includes Hamilton County, all of Hamilton County, until 2 o'clock this afternoon. This includes our northern Kentucky communities as well. CVG under this severe thunderstorm warning. If you know anybody who's going to be flying out of CVG anytime soon, venture to say that there are going to be some issues and some delays there at the airport here this afternoon. This also includes areas around Florence, Cold Spring, Cincinnati, downtown, areas of UC's campus. We've also got Xavier included in this severe thunderstorm warning, and then of course Milford and areas on the east side as well. So in terms of what you're seeing right now, it's very quiet outside, but the National Weather Service at this point is fairly confident in the potential for those strong to straight line winds moving into these locations that are already under that severe thunderstorm warning. So they're going ahead and issuing well in advance so that you know that we have the potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds moving into some of these locations. So Katie's looking at right now the potential for kind of looking to see if we can find some of our stronger wind samplings here. So what you want to look for whenever we're looking at this are those brighter colors that kind of stand out as opposed to your deeper reds. And actually, one of the samplings here closer to about 80 miles per hour for that. So again, likely that not all of that is making it down into the surface because the radar is kind of looking out and up, but still it's a possibility that somewhere within this thunderstorm, we have really strong winds, potentially up to 70 miles per hour. And with that, it is going to get that considerable tag from it from the National Weather Service office. It's not your traditional 60 mile per hour severe thunderstorm warning. They're actually giving the heads up that, hey, this could be producing closer to about 70 or so miles per hour. Now, as these storms move off to the east, again, they are still potentially running into some really good environment to see some of those winds really holding shape. So early heads up for the Cincinnati Metro, early heads up for Butler County, areas of Hamilton. You're under that severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Middletown. This includes Westchester under that severe thunderstorm warning. Harrison, you're under that severe thunderstorm warning as well. Lawrenceburg, Florence, Fort Wright, areas of Cincinnati, downtown. The west side, the east side, all under that severe thunderstorm warning there. We'll have another update for you coming up here in about 20 or so minutes. Until then, you can keep up to date with us on WLWT.com or through our mobile app.